Hello, I'm Sandra Branch of Senior Women Sharing Wisdom. Today we are highlighting our sisters. In this segment of Highlighting Our Sisters, I'm interviewing an amazing woman, Marva Riley. She's our sister and she is amazing. Come on in and listen. Hello, everybody. Today, in highlighting our sisters, we are interviewing Marva Riley. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Marva. Marva is a registered nurse, author, holistic health and wellness advocate, and international speaker. Marva has authored 4 books focused on health and wellness. Number 1 is Eat, Sleep, Meditate, A Nurse's Guide to Health. Number 2 is SHEIR, Recipe Book, Simple, Healthy, Easy, Inexpensive Recipes. Number 3 is Lose Weight and Keep It Off for Good, Understanding the Weight Loss Game. And the 4th book is her latest best-selling collaborative anthology called or named From Stuck to Limitless. Marva's mission is to encourage, inspire, motivate, and educate individuals to become and remain the healthiest version of themselves using a holistic approach, encompassing the body, mind, and spirit. After her father passed away from a massive heart attack at the young age of 37, Marva reflected on his unhealthy lifestyle, being overweight, stressed, a smoker, and a drinker, coupled with her own struggle with life-threatening cardiomyopathy and other illnesses. Marva became convinced that her purpose is to raise awareness about healthy living. Marva Riley's hope is that others can learn from their experiences and make positive changes before it's too late. Years ago, Marva received a devastating diagnosis of cardiomyopathy, a life-threatening heart condition. Her doctors gave her a grim prognosis, stating that without a heart transplant, her time was limited. However, through extensive research, Marva became convinced that adopting a plant-based diet, embracing a holistic lifestyle with regular exercise, sufficient sleep, stress reduction, time in nature, prayer, meditation, and enjoyment were the keys to healing. Marva took this path, and it proved successful. Now, after 22 years, she is passionately committed to spreading the message that holistic, drug-free approaches can reverse severe illnesses. Marva's mission is to empower others to take control of their health and wellness. The transformative power of this approach, as evidenced by numerous testimonials from those who have experienced healing and continue to thrive. Marva's message to everyone is to prioritize self-care. Your health is your ultimate wealth. Without it, nothing else holds true value. Wonderful. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce our guest today, our sister, Marva Riley. How are you, Marva?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much for having me today, Sister Sandra. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you for coming. Us ladies around our age, we got to stick together and share our wisdom with one another and get it together so it can be shared with the world to help a larger group of people. We are fortunate. We've been here long enough to accumulate lots of wisdom through our education and through our life experiences. So it's time to share it. And thank you for coming to share yours with us.
It's my pleasure.
Well, I am excited. I've been thinking and waiting on this for a while, ever since we talked, and I've been seeing some of your posts in our group, Senior Women Sharing Wisdom. I'm excited. I'm excited. You've been sharing a lot of stuff. So I would like to ask you to tell us a little bit of something about yourself.
Okay, thank you for that. Well, there's so many things to share about myself, but I will be 62 years of age on the 25th of May, and I'm looking forward to that chapter. I'm
Wow.
really looking forward to that chapter. I'm originally from the island of Jamaica, and in 1989, I immigrated to the United States along with my two little kids and my husband.
Mm.
I always wanted to be a nurse, even back then, but never had the opportunity. So when I came here, I got the opportunity to go to nursing school, and I studied nursing while I was working and develop a passion for it, a love for people. I love to help people. And that's my life mission for the rest of my days, however long they are, is to help people and to point people in the direction of healthy living.
I can understand that. Yes, that's a good passion. All
Yes.
right. And so where do you live now?
I live in Georgia. I live in most people have never heard of the little city where I live. It's called Rennes, Georgia. It's a
Mhm.
little bit south of Augusta, Georgia.
Mhm.
Most people have heard of Atlanta. Not many people have heard of Augusta. Maybe nobody has heard of Rennes, but that's where I am right now. We moved here 7 years ago for really for economic reasons because I was burnt out in nursing and my husband was retiring and we were looking for somewhere more affordable than South Florida where we lived.
Okay.
And we started checking out South Carolina, North Carolina, and Georgia, and we fell in love with this part of Georgia, and that's where we've been
Well,
for
good.
7.
Good to be happy where you
Yes.
are. That's good. That's good. All right. So you said that your childhood, you were brought up in Jamaica.
Yes, I was born. I'm Jamaican. I was born in Jamaica. My parents are Jamaicans. I lived in Jamaica until I was a young. I think I came to the States when I was about 26
Okay.
for
Okay.
economic reasons as well. And I had a pretty interesting childhood. My mom and dad had 10 children. They were very, very poor.
Mm.
And well, we didn't know we were poor then, but they were poor. And my dad's sister couldn't have any children. So they pretty much gave me away like a cat to my aunt and my uncle, and they couldn't have children together. And they were a little bit abusive,
Mm.
physically, emotionally, and mentally to me. So I had a pretty rough childhood, which when we talk later, I'll talk to you about my health issues that I encountered in my 30s.
Mm.
And when I did like the holistic treatment and stuff like that, they found out that a lot of the symptoms I was having were due to my traumatic childhood experiences.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's something. I've heard that before in other interviews, especially those that have to do with the medical field. Um, yes, that's interesting. So,
Yeah.
so you would say it wasn't a healthy environment.
It was definitely not a healthy environment. Growing up, I wasn't happy. I wasn't allowed to be a child. I never got the opportunity to go outside and play with other children. My adopted parents, my aunt and uncle, they owned a business, and I was just in the business all the time, working like an adult. That's
Oh,
how it was. I never had any childhood. If somebody says your childhood days, I don't know what that means. I think they did. Now I know that they did the best that they knew how.
yes.
They didn't know any better. They raised me the way they felt it was the right thing to do. But I didn't understand that until I became an older adult.
Mhm.
Um, they were physically abusive. I would be beaten for practically nothing.
I'm
I
sorry.
wasn't allowed to participate in a lot of things at school or anything at school or anything like that. And I hated them for a while. But later on, I forgave them. embraced them as my parents, took care of them actually until they passed away. My aunt, who I called my mom, passed away about 12 years ago, and my dad, her husband, passed away last year. But I took care of them financially. I was the daughter that they never had. I never had it up in my heart. I forgave them and just knew that they did what they felt was right. They didn't know any better. Like Jesus says,
Mhm.
forgive them for they know not what they do. I
Mhm.
had to get to that point.
Yes. I think that from the child's standpoint, you can always see things that you wish your parents hadn't done or had done or should have raised you this way. All of us, I think, go through that to some extent until we become parents ourselves. And then we realize I'm out here, you know, without instructions myself. So sometimes that allows us to give a little grace, but still, those things do have an effect on us. And so it's good to see that you've pulled through and you've done some wonderful things.
A lot of counseling
I'm
took,
sure. I'm sure.
which many people experience these things. They don't know what is going on. But I strongly suggest that if things aren't going so well physically, emotionally for you, even spiritually, sometimes we question God, why?
Mhm.
It's probably a good idea to seek professional counseling
Right. I understand.
because in counseling, a lot of things can come out.
That's true. That's true. And hey, I'm doing that even now. As an adult, life goes on and sometimes you just need counseling. So that's something that we shouldn't be ashamed of. So many people don't want to admit that I need counseling or I'm going to go have counseling or I'm having counseling. But it's a healthy thing to do, a healthy thing.
But sister, they don't even have to admit it. Just do it. And you know what? The thing is that many jobs that offer health insurance, professional counseling is actually
Mhm.
offered under the umbrella of mental health.
Yes. Yes.
Because when I was working as a nurse in the hospital setting, had health insurance at that time, and they offered me, I think, 12 sessions for the year.
Mhm. Mhm.
So you can get your 12 sessions, and the next year you get another 12 session. And you go without having to tell anybody that you're going to counseling. It's between you and your counselor. In fact, you don't even have to discuss it with your spouse or your other family members. What happens between you and your counselor can remain just between you and your counselor. But sometimes things are there deep, and
Mhm.
it is in counseling that it comes out so that you can deal with it. And sometimes you realize in counseling that, hey, I'm not alone. There are other people that have gone through this and they have been able to get out of it, conquer it, and thrive. And
Mhm.
so can I. It's not a good thing to live with these things. And they fester into diseases. A lot of the cancer
Yes.
and other diseases that people have is because of past trauma that
Wow.
have not been dealt with.
Hmm. That's so interesting. And it's good to hear this again and have this on video so that more people can hear this and get a better understanding of counseling and how it can help them through life. Thank you for that. Um, what led you to write your first book? The one, let's see, Eat, Sleep, Meditate, A Nurse's Guide to Health. What
That's
led you to write that book?
oh, sister. Okay, so while I was 38
Mhm.
years of age, two little kids, and I started having palpitations. I couldn't breathe. I had no energy. I was just feeling like I was dying. So I went to see my doctor multiple times, and he kept telling me I was going through early menopause
Mhm.
and that what was going on was in my head. So
Oh.
they put me on antidepressant. And those days I believed in these drugs and I took it, but it was band-aid. I mean, helped me for a
Mhm.
little bit. And then I was depressed again. And And then the depression turned to can't sleep and irritable bowel and gastric reflux, madding headaches, allergies, arthritis. I mean, I was just falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't breathe. My heart just kept racing all the time. So at that time, I worked in recovery room, and one of my coworkers said, you need to go see a cardiologist that specializes in electrical activity of the heart, because I had gone to another cardiologist who just kept giving me pills, 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 pills. Wasn't working. My blood pressure would just bottom out. So I went to see the electrophysiologist who specializes in electrical activity of the heart. He did a procedure and he said, I want you to change the way you eat, walk for 30 minutes a day, do yoga, prioritize meditation and prayer, get outside and enjoy nature and take care of yourself. I
Wow.
was 38. I was so desperate to live because before that I wasn't living, because let me back up a little bit. The first cardiologist I went to told me that my heart was functioning at 30%. That's what the echocardiogram showed. And he said that if I didn't get heart transplant, I probably wouldn't live.
My goodness.
So when this guy did a procedure on my heart and gave me all those instructions, I took his prescription to heart. I
Mm-hmm.
started eating healthily. I started exercising and started taking care of myself. And it worked. I was able to reverse all of those health issues over time, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And I would write these things in my journal.
Mm-hmm.
And then one night, my husband saw me writing in my journal and he said, you should really write a book,
Mm-hmm.
because other people can benefit from what your story and what you're writing. And that's how my first book came to being, because I wanted to share what I went through, what I did, and what I am experiencing right now, because I worked in ICU.
Mm-hmm.
And in ICU, I saw many, many sick people,
Yes.
but the underlying condition was not being treated. The symptoms were being treated.
Yes.
Not
Yeah.
the underlying, and that's how I was being treated initially. And I said, no, I don't want any drugs.
Mm-hmm.
I want to heal myself. And I started doing a lot of research.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Everything pointed to holistic lifestyle, excellent nutrition, exercise, adequate sleep, decreased stress, overall taking care of ourselves.
You know, that's becoming more and more common knowledge now. People are getting, or they're turning toward holistic um, ways of looking and treating, because what you say is true. They're always giving you pills, 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 treating the symptoms, like putting a band-aid on a broken leg, you know. And so I appreciate that you are sharing this wisdom with us. And I pray that a lot of people will partake of it. I know my ears are wide open and I'm ready. I've got some things going on. And when I saw that you are interested in healing the body, not just treating it. You didn't talk about treatment. You said healing the body through holistic lifestyle. So that means people who have health problems can get better and heal by eating the right things.
That's right. Because,
Approach medicine.
actually, no doctor heals anyone.
No, they don't.
And no nutritionist heals anyone. The thing is that our bodies heal themselves, but we've got to give the body the right tool.
Okay.
And the thing is that most of the illnesses that we have is because we eat too much
Mm.
and we eat too much of the wrong foods.
Yeah,
And what I'm finding also, Sandra, is that many people don't know how to eat healthily.
true.
Even doctors don't know how to eat healthily, because doctors were never trained in nutrition during their time in med school. They just weren't. So the other day I was listening to a podcast by Dr. Neil Bernard, and he was saying that the number one cause of premature death among physicians is heart disease.
Wow.
And
Wow.
because they don't know how to eat properly. Nobody taught them. They're so busy. They're so stressed out. They're not taking care of themselves. And I saw it when I worked in the hospital because every hospital that I've worked at, and I worked at most hospitals in Broward because I used to work agency and stuff. They had a whole room with foods for the physicians, and they could get any healthy foods that they wanted, or they could get any unhealthy foods that they wanted. And oftentimes I would see medical doctors walking down the hallway, eating a bag of chips and drinking a soda.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's so ironic, but I can see it. I can. And we don't know how to eat. I even thought as I was contemplating this interview, I was thinking, wow, we need to learn how to eat as children. Nutrition, I mean, seriously, needs to be taught to young people because once we get into the groove of just, doing our thing with the food and getting our tastes set, I only like this and I only like that. And I don't want to take this away because nothing, you know what I'm saying? We're set. If we could get that into our children and grow up that way, that would be a great thing.
We got to start at home.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
we got to start at home because I'm going to say this, okay? The pharmaceutical companies and the food industry are in bed with each other.
Yeah, I believe.
Okay. So that's why they have the FDA, Food and Drug Administration.
Right.
Okay. So we can demand that change, but we have to come together as a people. But the bottom line is that we have to start at home teaching our kids from
That,
that baby is born. We need to breastfeed that baby and not give them formula.
that's right.
And also when we start introducing food to our babies, we can blend out those kale and the spinach and the carrot and give your baby those things, no sugar, no additive.
Mhm.
Because once you give the baby, they'll develop that palate for that.
Right. Yes, that's true.
And so when that child goes to school, they're not going to have any palate for slop. I remember when my kids went to college, they said, we would not eat that sloppy Joe, mom. And we did not want the hot dog and the hamburger. They never got it at home, even though I didn't know as much as I know now. We just never served that at home. So
Mm.
when they went to college, they didn't want it.
That was
So we have
good.
to start training at home how, and when the kids see that the family is sitting together and dining and eating fruits and eating vegetables, they will eat that as well.
Do you have a program that you coach people with illnesses as far as nutrition and what they should and shouldn't eat?
I don't coach anyone. In fact, I don't have a program and I don't have a coach. I'm on social media. I'm on YouTube and Instagram and I have a Facebook group. I'm in your Facebook group. I'm everywhere in TikTok everywhere, showing people that they can eat differently by incorporating more plants like they did in Eden.
That's right.
We go back to Eden, eating the apple, the banana, the orange, the zucchini, the colored greens, and those things. In fact, I think it's the American Diabetic Association or the American Heart. They have a standard where if you divide your plate in four,
Right.
okay, I think it's in or three.
Free.
Half of your plate really should be vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do that, there's hardly any way you can go wrong. But the
Mm-hmm.
idea is to eat as much foods in their raw state as possible. So we have to learn to eat salads and eat fruits like as I mentioned earlier, and drink water instead, like you're doing now, instead of sodas and juices and the artificial sugar that is in so much stuff. And the processed foods have all these additives. So if we would go back to eating the way our grandmothers used to cook, you
Yeah.
can't go wrong. And our foreparents used to eat, you can't go wrong. Get out of McDonald's and Burger King and all this fast food, and even in the supermarkets, they sell all this junk that people eat. You can't go wrong. The bottom line, eat more plants. Like I was telling you how I feel amazing today. It's because I wasn't feeling so good. I was having some arthritic pain and stuff like that. And I felt like my body needed a detox. So I went on a raw food diet 5 days ago.
Oh, you're talking about that.
Yes, initially I did 3 days of fruit fast.
Right.
And then it felt so good. My husband joined me and we said, we're just going to continue for another 6 weeks because I've also been following Dr. Montgomery. You should look him up. Dr. Kim Williams is the two African-American physicians
Mhm.
and Dr. Goldner. And they were all talking about how you can detox the body by using raw green smoothie. And you
Oh,
just add some fruits to sweeten it up a little bit. And that's what I've been doing, a smoothie in the morning, a smoothie in the afternoon, and in between I have a large salad,
okay.
and this is day 5. And what we're planning to do is go to 6 weeks. And I was having some arthritic pain around my waistline, in my buttock, my thigh, my knee, which I normally don't have these things,
Mhm.
even turning my neck. And
Oh,
since I started that raw diet, I'm able to turn my neck. I'm able to do squats. I'm able to sleep. I was having trouble sleeping. I was a little foggy brain. I was getting tired in the afternoon, wanting to take a nap. That's not me.
right.
This food is clearly detoxing my body along with drinking a lot of water,
Mhm.
and I feel amazing. So folks need to know that the healing foods are the God food,
Mhm, mhm.
the God food, the apples, the oranges, the plants.
Yeah,
The Bible says that the herbs was put on this earth by God for the healing of the nation.
true. It does say that, didn't it?
Not McDonald's, not Burger King, not the chicken that we pick up at Costco and things like that. No, if you're gonna cook chicken, you cook your own chicken, you
Mhm.
cook your own fish, you cook your own beef.
Yeah.
And also we need to stay away from processed meat because the uh the uh the American Cancer Society and the World Health Organization have classified processed meats such as bacon and sausages and hot dogs and stuff as class 1 carcinogenics.
Wow.
And cigarettes are class 1 carcinogenics.
Hi.
The same way that cigarettes can cause cancer is the same way these processed foods, processed meats will cause cancer. And also red meat is class 2.
Right. Right.
So we also have to educate ourselves. And there's so much information. It's not about this diet and the other diet and the other diet. It's about including as much healthy foods in your diet, as much vegetables, fruits, nuts, grains, things like that,
Mhm.
and minimize the unhealthy foods and try your best to get rid of that sugar.
Yes.
Minimize that sugar, minimize that salt, minimize all of that stuff, and learn to drink water
Mhm.
instead of soda and juices.
Mhm. Well, that's good. That's a good thing. Getting back to the way my mom um, did things, we always had lots of vegetables. My grandmother, her grandmother had a farm and all that, and we ate a lot of vegetables. A lot of my friends never had okra. They never had Swiss chard. They never had turnip roots. A lot of those different things that, were common in my household. And
Mhm.
my children always ate vegetables. Now that I've gotten older and I don't have a mate anymore, um, I've just kind of relaxed and I need to get back to that.
I encourage you to look up Dr. Montgomery. He's an interventional cardiologist that I follow.
Mhm.
Dr. Mark Furman, and there's Dr. Brooke Goldner, also Dr. Kim Williams. Many of these are African American physicians that have embraced the holistic lifestyle and plant-based, and that you'll hear testimonials. I mean, I have testimonials, many testimonials actually. There is a lady on that follows me on Facebook. I have a Facebook group as well. It's called The Doctor in You,
Okay.
and her daughter um read my books, adopted the plant-based lifestyle, and lost a lot of weight. And she passed the books on to her mom. And her mom started following the teachings in my books, have lost weight. She's in her 80s. She started going to the gym, changed her eating. I've never met this lady, but she messages me all the time to tell me that my books are her Bible. That's
Oh,
what she says. And I follow you, Marva. I follow everything that you say, and I've lost weight. She's been to her doctor. Let me back up a little bit. She said her doctor had told her there was nothing that they could do for her. Your age is pretty much you can go die, that kind of thing.
mm,
And since she started eating differently and started exercising and embracing the holistic lifestyle, she's off many of her medications. And I think I had mentioned also that, yeah, I know that most of us can't plant and don't have land. So many people live in an apartment, live in the city. You can't plant your own food or grow your own food. And even if you grow your own food, you might not be able to grow it in the quantity. But there you can shop smartly, like places like Costco, Walmart. I'm not promoting them. I'm just saying that these places you can oftentimes get things cheaper. I know at my local supermarket, they mark things down if they're not 100%. They're not rotten. They're like 98%, but people won't buy them if they're a little soft,
yeah.
you know? So you can actually buy, like today I saw 4 apples in a pack that was marked down to $1.99. Normally it's like maybe over $1 each because they sell apples $2 a pound, you
Mhm.
know? So be smart. And first of all, you have to decide that you want to eat healthily. And if you want to eat healthily, you can find a way because it would be better for you to eat like say frozen beans or canned beans, low salt, and just wash the salt off than not eat any beans at all. But beans are cheap, for example. A
Mhm.
whole bag of lentils is less than $2, and a bag of lentils can go far away.
Yes.
If you buy a whole thing of collard greens, it's a lot of collards.
It is.
It can go far away. And I see people lined up at McDonald's and Wendy's and those places spending money on fast food. So we can spend a little money on our health because our health is the only true wealth that we have. Without our health, no matter how wealthy we are poor.
Mhm.
And we've got to get back to eating. We've got to get back to eating to live and not live to eat because the food that we're eating is killing us prematurely.
And I've been thinking about this for some time, and we're planting vegetables, um, above ground gardens, and they're getting all that ready for me now. And with this all in mind, wanting to eat better, not wanting those, actually, I don't want the fertilizers and the chemicals that they have on vegetables. So I thought, well, I can alleviate some of that by growing my own. So we've got 4 large ones, and
One,
we did that last year, but not with the above ground. Didn't do as well in the ground, even though we put more soil down. So we're just going to do above ground, see how that works. But yes, I'm craving good fresh vegetables.
that
And
is good. And you know what the physicians say, and I mean, that's what I do. I don't have access to organic vegetables, not a lot. A
Mhm,
couple here, maybe a cucumber and that kind of stuff.
mhm.
But what I do with my kale and and collards and stuff like that, which collards is new to me, by the way.
I don't know how.
New to me. But the thing is that African Americans, they cook the devil out
Oh,
of collard greens.
yeah,
And
we
by
do.
the time you eat that collard greens, there's nothing left in it. And then they add the ham hocks and all of that. Just it cancels out
Every.
the nutrition. But collards can actually be used as a smoothie. And actually, I did a workshop at a church recently, and I said to the ladies, "Did you know that you can actually just gently saute collards? You don't have to cook it for hours." And the lady said, "And it doesn't taste like cardboard." No, it does not. And you don't have to put any ham hocks and all that. Just cut some onion, garlic, tomato, and a little bit of olive oil and saute it. And you within 20 minutes, it's nice and delicious. Or you can add that coloreds to your smoothie, blend it out in your high-powered blender to make a smoothie. add some flaxseed to it and some turmeric and stuff like that to detox the body, help you to feel full so you don't eat too much, so you lose the weight, and then you get rid of those, the cane if you use a cane, or get rid of that blood pressure pill, get rid of those insulin and all that kind, and live, because we can be 60, 70, 80 and live vibrant lives.
Mm-hmm.
Vibrant. You know, recently somebody said to me, do you know the story? I don't remember the name of the man in the Bible who lived to be hundreds of years old.
Methuselah, I think it is.
Methuselah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Methuselah. And I say to, when I go, I speak at churches. When I go to church, I said, do you remember how Daniel ate?
Mm-hmm.
It's not supposed to be a 3-week fast.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be our lifestyle.
Right.
So stay away from Burger King and the kingly food and all that, and eat to live rather than live to eat.
That's
And
right.
one quick thing, our body, sister, is a temple of God. We've got to take care of it.
True. That's true. Absolutely true. And all these recipes that you're talking about, I see you have a book with healthy, easy, inexpensive recipes. So I must get that. I must get all of these.
My
Yeah.
all my books, I think except for Stuck to Limitless, have recipes in them. But SHEIR has over 100 recipes. And
Really?
yes, over 100. And they're very simple, easy, because people have busy lifestyles,
Yeah.
you know. And so they're recipes that you can prepare within 30 minutes, and
Mhm.
dinner is ready, and you can feed your family healthy foods every day. Salads, believe it or not, a lot of people don't know, but you can make a big bowl of salad.
Mhm.
You can get some mason jars and divide up your salad and just stick them in the refrigerator. And because the mason jar is sealed, when you tighten it,
Mhm.
it'll last in the refrigerator for 10 days without going bad.
I never knew that because that's the problem I have with salad. Things go bad so fast in so mason jars.
Mason jar, and don't put your dressing
Mhm.
on the salad until you're ready to eat. And if you're going to add like avocado, which is the amazing food to put in your salad, don't add that until you're ready to eat. But if you can use your kale, your collards and all that kind, lettuce, all of that, and just mix it up together, put it in large mason jars and just stick it in the refrigerator. When you're ready, you can even eat it from the mason jars. And they also have other storage containers that might not be mason jars that you can buy online. My daughter-in-law is big into food prepping. That's what she does. And she has her food in the refrigerator for 10 days, never goes bad. You know, and you know, a trick that I discovered recently, because I hate to cut kale real small, and kale is so filling and nutritious. I put it in my blender.
Oh,
I just pulse it a little
yeah.
bit, a small amount of pulse until
Mhm.
it chops it up really, really nice and fine.
Mhm.
And then I'll put the kale in a jar, in a sealed jar, until I'm ready to use it. You know, you have to use it within a week, but it will last you the whole week, because food prepping will set you up for success. Say Sunday, you could prep and prepare your food so you have it for the rest of the week if you have a busy lifestyle.
Yes. When you were talking about collards and cooking them, not cooking the life out of them, I watch a lot of different videos about a lot of things that I think might be interesting to the ladies in the group. And
Mhm.
in Jamaica and in West Africa, the way they cut up the greens, they're almost shredded in
Yes.
small pieces, which
Yes.
makes them cook faster, or they're more palatable with
Yes.
less cooking. And
Yes.
so, yes, that's a great thing. And I didn't think about putting them and pulsing them in a blender, but I guess if you had a food processor, you could do that.
That
And
might be.
yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm just learning so much today. I'll be putting these into use. Um, that's cool. This is really good. And so many of us need this. I mean, everybody, old and young. We
Yes,
all,
because the earlier we start eating healthier, the better it'll be for us because then we can avoid some of the health issues that are related to poor nutrition. So and believe it or not, many of the people that follow me um, are actually young people. Majority are, middle to older, but there are several young people. Some of them have health issues. They have diabetes at a young age. And I know of one in particular that is in a group that I have. She was able to lower the amount of insulin that she takes significantly because she's changed the way she eats. Food is actually medicine. Healthy food is medicine.
yes.
Medicine. The digestive issues that people have, you start incorporating more vegetables and stuff like that. I used to have gastric reflux and H. pylori and irritable bowel syndrome on pills for years. I did so many endoscopies and stuff like that. Once I switched to a plant-based diet, all of that went away.
That's amazing. This is amazing. Yes, I'm happy about this, and you've answered another question. What is holistic health? So, and why are you so passionate about holistic health? So, you've answered those questions for me. So, this is very, very informative. And let's see, what is one bit of advice that you would like to leave with the viewers?
Wow. The advice would be take care of yourself. Because the bottom line is that our health is our only wealth.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember the Apple guy, he was rich. Steve Jobs,
Oh, yes.
one of the richest men in history, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But he was diagnosed with cancer, and all the money meant nothing to him. There are people that have a lot of money and are sick.
Mm-hmm.
The money means nothing. The family means nothing. The job means nothing. The business means nothing if you do not have your health. Your health is your only true wealth. So it is up to you to take care of it. And you know what? Your health is your responsibility, not the doctors, not the hospital, not the nurse, nobody else but you. You've got to decide what goes in your mouth. You've got to decide if you're going to get up off that sofa and go exercise. You've got to decide if you're going to get off social media at night and get to sleep. You've got to take care of your own health.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you. You're speaking right to me. And I know I'm not the only one. And I thank you for that. I thank you for that. Let's see. Now, of course, we're talking about how taking care of ourselves affects us and how we feel and how long we'll live and so forth. Uh, do you think that taking care of ourselves or not taking care of ourselves affects anyone except other than us, ourselves?
100%, sister. My ex-husband never took care of himself. And I could see at early in our marriage that I could see the trajectory. And I would always do whatever above and beyond, because that's just my personality. I'm a pushing wife. I'll just push for him to take care of himself. And he would say to me, you can't make me do it. So I'm making this response personal to me. Okay. Fast forward a few years, and he gained a lot of weight because he wouldn't eat healthily, or I would prepare the healthy food. He would eat that, and then he would go to Taco Bell and order 6 tacos. He never took care of himself. He developed diabetes. He developed hypertension. He developed kidney disease. He was on all kinds of pills. He got 3 massive heart attacks. He got a stroke. And at the age of 50 years old, he was disabled.
Wow.
And who had to take care of him?
Yeah.
Who had to take care of him? Me,
Mhm.
the children,
So,
okay?
so,
Eventually, he ended up in a nursing home. He becomes a part of this social problem as well, because now the money that is used to care for him in a nursing home in a situation that was preventable, it's not always preventable. Some people are in nursing homes because they're elderly or they're sickly, stuff like that. But a lot of that could have been prevented. And I spent a lot of my time taking care of him and the children, taking care of him. It caused a lot of stress. You
sure.
know, your family's having to push you in a wheelchair because you're sick because you didn't take care of yourself. The economic impact it has on the family, where the money could be used somewhere else, but it's being used to take care of buy your pills, pay your copay on your insurance and things like that. You can't breathe at night. You have to be using a CPAP so
Mhm.
your partner cannot sleep because it's just blowing and making a lot of noise. I mean, when we don't take care of ourselves, it affects our immediate family, it affects society at large, it affects the economic situation within your family, the economic situation within the country. It just affects everybody. It's a domino effect.
Yes, it is. It is. And it's good to talk about this, bring this out because that's not something that you connect with this, with nutrition and eating right. You just don't think about it in that way. But it's good to know. It's good to know. Makes a bigger impact on us as to I got to get this straight. Yeah.
Yes.
So tell me, how can our listeners connect with you? Are on your platforms? Do you answer questions on those platforms? And how can they get with you?
Okay. So my name is Marva Riley, and I am on YouTube. You can connect with me on YouTube. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I have a website, rnmarvariley.com. You can connect with me on any of those platforms. I do answer questions. I'm not specific with questions because I'm not counseling you. I'm not your doctor. Um, I'm not a coach. Okay. I am someone who's experienced a lot of health issues and have used lifestyle to reverse all of them. I've written books to help people to do the same, and I have many testimonials of people who have had that kind of reversal of health issues or betterment of the health issues. So, like if you were on a podcast or you were talking to a physician on YouTube and you ask specific questions about your kidney function, they would not be able to tell you that because you're not their patient. They don't have your numbers or anything like that. Well, it's the same thing with me. I don't give specific answers, but I can say, if you say to me, for example, I'm overweight and I'm trying to lose some weight, what can I do? I would say to you, you need to look at your diet.
Mhm, mhm.
I would say you need to look at your diet. What are you eating? Because you know what, sis? A lot of the answers people already know.
That's true.
Oh, they know that they need to get up and go walk for 30 minutes. Because the American Heart Association says 30 minutes of physical activity per day is the minimum standard. And they know this. They know they shouldn't be eating that McDonald's. They know they shouldn't be eating that donut. And
Yeah,
they know that they need to turn off that social media and get to bed.
that's
You
true.
know? So I would say, look at your lifestyle. What are you doing? What could you do differently? And
Mhm.
then I also say to them, follow me on social media. I give a lot of tips and grab my books.
I'm loving
Because,
your tips in the group. Yes.
yes. I love your group because um, everybody offers something different in your group.
Yeah.
It's like iron sharpens iron.
Hmm.
That's what I find in your group. And that's what we need to do because we're all in this together. We're a village.
That's true.
We're here to help each other. And that's why I mean, if you follow me in social media, you'll get a lot of information without me saying to you individually that this is what you need to do.
I'm loving it. I really am. I'm thankful to you. I mean, I love wisdom. I love learning. I've always loved learning. And even if what's being said to me flies in the face of what I'm doing, I want to listen. I want to learn. And I'm thanking you for making this information available. A lot of people know that they're not eating right, but a lot of people don't know what they should be eating. And you make it very clear with the plant-based foods and the recipes. This is good. So you're telling us what we need to do, and you're telling us how, and I
Yes.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay. So right now, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing your wisdom with us. And we would love to have you back, and we want to keep up with what you're doing. We want to follow you on all of your social media.
Thank you so much for having me. This was fun. It was informative.
Yes.
And I really look forward to chatting with you again
Yes,
soon.
me. All right. Take care, sister.
All right, sis. Bye-bye now. Yes. Love you.